Okay, so I've come out here to film. I had everything set up. I went to a few locations. I finally found one. Nice view of the water, and it's just started to rain. Yeah, so obviously that sucks because I don't want my camera to get wet, and I don't even know if you'll be able to hear me over this wind. So now I'm gonna go back home and finish off the video. The sun's out again. But I'm all set up. So, hey guys, how's it going, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video, as requested by one of my subscribers, I'm going to be talking about things that I miss about Australia. Today marks the day that I've been living in Finland for 3 years. Yeah, it's so crazy with COVID and everything that's been going on, and the restrictions to travel back to Australia and everything. It just feels like the last year and a half, almost 2 years. Sorry, I'll turn it off. Yeah, it feels like the last year or year and a bit have just gone by so fast and very uneventful. Yeah, I know last year we had plans for my family from Australia to come over to Finland. We had plans to have our wedding last year, and I think we were going to go to Japan, and we just had so much stuff and do more traveling around Europe, and then COVID just sort of feels like the last year and a bit have just gone by so fast, uneventfully. But yeah, not uneventfully in a bad way, because obviously, very soon we're about to have a baby, so that's awesome. But yeah, just in terms of me thinking that I've been living here for 3 years, it feels like it's gone by very fast. So let's get on with the video. Also, this video, I had planned to film it outside. I got up and the weather looked really good today. The sun was out, and as you'll see, I took a little clip. Yeah. So yeah, as you can see, it was overcast and it started to rain a bit. And now, as I'm doing this, the sun's out again. I'm not risking it. We're set up now. We're doing the video inside, but I want to make note. Yeah, I really wanted to film outside. So now I've got a little bit of a list of things that I'm going to go through. Things that I miss about Australia. Yeah, I've always had jobs like when I left school, I joined the army. I moved away from my family. After that, I was working jobs overseas, and then I came and lived in Finland. So I guess in a way I don't really get homesick that much. But these are things that I had to think about, because like I said, I don't get homesick that much. But these are things that I do miss about Australia. The first thing is the tan, the sun tan. Before I moved here, I was a couple of shades darker. It's just something that happens. It's not like I would go outside and tan on purpose. But there are pros and cons with that. Since I came to Finland, the sun's not out that much. I find myself wearing long clothing, warm clothing, and spending most of my time inside. So now I'm a lot whiter, almost blending in with this table. But you can definitely notice it. This year when I went away to Greenland, I spent probably the longest amount of time I've spent in the sun since I've lived in Finland, and I was sunburnt within like a week. like really badly sunburnt. Yeah, it wasn't that hot. The UV wasn't that bad, but it was the fact that I spent most of my time inside in Finland, and I guess now my skin is more susceptible to getting burnt, which sucks. I don't like that. So yeah, that's one of the things I miss about being in Australia, was my tan, and the fact that I could go outside and cut the grass, no problem. And now if I spend an hour or more in the sun, I get burnt, which sucks because I'm an Australian. A lot of people would give me a lot of grief over the fact that I was getting sunburnt, as I'm an Australian from Australia, but it's one of the things that came from living here in Finland for so long. Also, on the weather, it's one thing I miss about in Australia. One of the pastimes everybody loves to do is you could just get in the car and go to the beach. Any time of the year, it's basically good. Like, yeah, in the winter it's a little bit chilly, but most of the year, in parts of Australia, you can go to the beach and you're gonna have a great time. Sun's out, ocean's nice, yeah, and here it's like really only a couple of weeks a year, but yeah, this is something that I miss. Yeah, that you could just get in the car and just go and do something. Like here in Finland, it's just so, your plans, especially outside the house, are very weather dependent. Like I mentioned, I wanted to film this outside, and here I am inside because the weather was bad, and now it's good again. I mean, yeah, I missed the weather. It was always reliably hot. Okay, another big one. Before I came to Finland, I was working in a well-paying job in Australia, and the money I was getting was really good, and in that sense, the cost of living in Australia wasn't that bad because I was getting paid well. One thing I can't get my head around is I know people like my partner. She has a degree, you know, she's Finnish, and I got into a job that was almost twice the amount of what she was earning per hour. I was getting a lot more, which I think is crazy. The cost to live here in terms of what you get paid is ridiculous. It's a very expensive country, and the minimum wage is laughable. Like I said, I think my first or second video, my first job here, I was working McDonald's and I was on 60 euros and 20 cents an hour. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Just quickly, like, you know, you're on, let's say, like, and I was working with a person who was much older than me. He had kids, and it was the first job that he could get, like myself. And he had to live a fair way out of Helsinki. So he had like an hour and a half, 2 hour commute just to get to work there. Yeah, just to work at McDonald's for that amount of money. Anyway, it's crazy. But that's something I miss about Australia, is the work, the money you get from work to life ratio. Expenses and everything, just in relation to what you're getting paid, I feel it's a lot better than what it is here in Finland. Now, yeah, obviously, as you know, in my other videos, I don't hate the food here in Finland, except for Beema. I won't touch that stuff again. It's horrible. But there are specific foods that Finland doesn't have, for obvious reasons, that I do miss in Australia because it was like a staple there, and I miss it a lot. That's bacon. The bacon here in Finland is laughable as an Australian. I don't like the bacon here. I absolutely miss the bacon in Australia. It's very common on Sundays to have bacon and eggs for breakfast. You know, and I just miss the bacon. It's really good in Australia. And obviously the meat, the steaks, that's something I really do miss. I grew up an hour away from the largest beef export capital. I don't know, something. They're really famous for beef. Yeah, and I grew up an hour away from that town where they're famous for their beef, and so I ate really, really good steaks for a long time. And now that I'm living in the other side of the world, I really took that for granted, because since I moved to Finland, I've experienced your flat steaks. Yeah, I'm not going to go on that, but I'm missing like a really good cut of steak. Yeah. I miss the food. It's really good. Also, pizza. Oh man, I like the pizza here in Finland. I hardly find any pizzerias that have meat lovers pizza. Again, I love meat. In Australia, one of the main ones is meat lover pizzas with, instead of tomato sauce base that you have on most of the pizzas here in Finland, barbecue sauce base. Try it. If you're watching this, if anyone watching this owns a pizzeria, make a meat lovers pizza with barbecue sauce on the base. It's so good. It is so good. Or at least just try it and see what you think. But trust me, you guys are missing out on something. That's something I miss. Barbecue based pizzas and meat lover pizzas. Another thing that's got to do with the weather, and also in relation to the cost of living, is the clothing items. You know, here you have all the seasons, and you can't, unless you're inside, like me, you can't wear the same things you'd wear in summer inside during winter. Yeah, you know, you need your shorts, your shirts, your singlets, your long sleeves, your warm pants, your hoodies, all that sort of stuff. And not to mention all the stuff you need to wear outside, your long pants, like you're going out, jeans, your spring pants, the water resistant stuff. It's not that well insulated, but it's water resistant. You've got your winter clothing, the stuff that is water resistant, waterproof, insulated, the different shoes, like there's the gloves, the socks. In Australia, I used to wear my thongs on my feet. I used to wear my thongs literally 365 days a year. Shorts, 365 days a year, and singlets. I don't know if I mentioned in one of my videos, when I met my partner, that was my wardrobe. Just shorts, singlets, and I had some good jeans, a couple of good t-shirts, and a good pair of shoes, and it was shorts, singlets, and thongs, and that was it. Very cheap to equip yourself with the correct clothing for that environment, but yeah, it's something I miss. Because I, for one, hate going clothes shopping. As you can probably tell, I've done a lot of videos in the same shirts. Yeah, I don't know, I don't enjoy clothes shopping, so that's like I miss about Australia. You could get away with wearing bare minimum. On that, when you go to parties in Australia, it was, you go into a party, your dressing up was basically jeans and a t-shirt. And that was considered fancy. Here in Finland, fancy is fancy dress pants, fancy buttoned up dress shirt, fancy shoes with fancy socks, because when you enter in the house or the venue, when you enter into the house, you'll take your shoes off to then show your fancy socks that then need to match the outfit. There's a lot going on. Yeah, in Australia, you just slap on your good jeans and t-shirt, and I miss that, because as I mentioned, I don't like buying clothes, but getting ready for events and parties in Australia is one thing I miss, because it was so simple and easy, because everybody wasn't expected to dress up nicely. Not that that's a bad thing. Don't get this wrong. This isn't a video of me saying about things that I hate. It's just stuff that I miss in Australia. sauces. So with anything, let's say for example, in Finland, if you go over someone's house and you have some pork or some salmon or literally any form of protein, you sit down, you just have it. Or if it was cooked in sauces, that's what it would taste like. Maybe you have some sinapi, and that's really it. In Australia, if you go to someone's house or if you're having like steaks or sausage or fish or anything, they'll lay the food out and then they'll whip out like 6 different sauces, barbecue sauce, tomato sauce, soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, just literally anything what they've got, and you'll just drown whatever in. Like, yeah, it takes away the taste of the food, but it's not a bad thing. It's nice to have those options. It's something I miss about Australia is sauces with foods. Yeah, you can buy them here, but yeah, I don't know if it's frowned upon a bit. Like if you would go to someone's house and they had some, I don't know, some pork and you just drowned it in sauce, would Finnish people take offense to that? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I can understand this a little bit, but one thing I miss about Australia is the vehicles. I was used to having nice, bigger vehicles. With having a bigger vehicle comes hand in hand with like the safety feeling. Yeah, in Finland, I've only really had small cars, because you've got to take into account the vehicle tax. If it's a diesel, the diesel tax. How easy it is to change the wheels between summer and winter. The parking situation. Parking is not that great here in Finland, especially around Helsinki. There's a lot more other factors, but in Australia, I miss having my big trucks, my big utes. Yeah, I don't know. It's something I miss. Yeah, I miss that a lot. I see a lot of people here in Finland driving around in those F100, F250s, big Ford Rangers, but man, I could imagine they would be expensive to have here in Finland. In Australia, they're so more common, obviously, but yeah, I've always been afraid to look at how much that would cost here in Finland, because I can't imagine that'd be cheap. But the cost of having a car is something I miss. Yeah, in Australia it's definitely not as expensive, which obviously goes hand in hand with how much you're getting paid from work and the cost of living. Yeah, okay, so that's basically it. It's hard, like I said, I've never really been homesick, so for me to sit down and think of things that I miss, it doesn't really come that easily, because I love it here. Obviously there's some things that I don't like, but as a whole, yeah, I actually don't mind it here. But those are just some things that I thought of that I do miss about Australia, and yeah, there. Oh, okay, just quickly. Also, hairdressers. So getting your hair cut. In Australia, again, cost of living. So easy to go down and get a haircut. But here in Finland, I've only found like the first barber or hair salon hairdresser that I went to. I was a part of that M-Room membership, whatever joke that thing was. Very expensive, ridiculous system for me to get a haircut. I think it worked out to be 32 euros a haircut. Ridiculous. But the system in itself, crazy. I miss in Australia. You can literally go to any barber, any hair salon, hairdresser and just get a haircut. Yeah, obviously there are cheaper variations here in Finland, but yeah, I feel like that accessibility is something that I did miss. Yeah, I just thought of that. Cool. All right, so next video, we are definitely going outside. I'm going to plan the heck out of it, and we're doing it. I don't care if it's gonna rain again. I'm just gonna take an umbrella, because I don't like this setup. I don't like sitting here in the corner. I couldn't imagine this would be an amazing video to watch because you literally just look at me talking. So yes, I hope you enjoyed the video. These are the things that I miss about Australia. So yeah, that's it. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.